To the Sherman City Council meeting. We'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum, and we'll declare the meeting open. This time, I'm going to ask Councilman Tiemann to lead us in the pledge and invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for blessing us with this day, Lord, and with this amazing city and all the many community members that live here, Lord. Lord, be with us as we make decisions on behalf of the city and on behalf of the citizens, Lord, and allow us to make wise decisions and to do your will. We love you, Lord. Amen. Amen.
All right. Everybody have an opportunity to look at the minutes from the regular city council meeting of March 19th.
Move to approve the minutes of March 19th.
Right?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right. We have three proclamations tonight. The first one, Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. I'm going to ask Deputy Mayor Howitt if she'll read that for us, please.
Ellie Ness, if you'll come down, please. This is Ellie Ness Negron, and she is going to accept the proclamation. All right. Whereas more than 63,657 cases of child abuse and neglect were confirmed in Texas during the fiscal year of 2017, and whereas child abuse prevention is a community responsibility and finding solution depends on involvement among all people, and whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of the partnerships among a variety of entities, including but not limited to schools, religious organizations, law enforcement agencies, child protective agencies, prosecution agencies, medical professionals, mental health professionals, children advocacy centers, and other community-based nonprofit organizations. And whereas everyone in the community should become more aware of child abuse prevention and consider helping parents raise their children in safe, nurturing environments, as well as supporting local professionals dedicated to meeting the needs of child abuse victims. Now, I, David Plyler, Mayor of the City of Sherman, Texas, by the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim April 2018 Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in the City of Sherman, and urge all citizens to work together to reduce child abuse and neglect and to significantly improve the response of our community when child abuse occurs in the months and years ahead. In witness, therefore, I have thereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Sherman to be affixed this, the second day of April, 2018. We want to thank you for coming, and I'll give this to you if you'd like to say a couple of words on behalf of child abuse.
Yeah, I mean, the CDC is so grateful, not to just you guys, but our community and our law enforcement officers, in our fight against child abuse, and I hope that someday we can just prevent it altogether. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Sexual Assault Awareness Month, April 2018. I've asked Councilman Tiemann if you'll read that for us, please.
Okay, I'd like to invite up Sherry Woolsey and Anna Brown, if you're here.
Sorry, Sherry was not able to be here tonight.
All right. Perfect. Whereas April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and all over the country, organizations like the Crisis Center have pledged to educate and support their communities about the devastating effects of sexual assault. And whereas community involvement is necessary to end sexual assault, and the Crisis Center and the City of Sherman recognize the difficulties victims have when reporting sexual assault, and whereas the Grace and Crisis Center has responded to over 100 sexual assault calls since the inception of the Sexual Assault Response Team on October 1st, 2016, and 1 in 5 women and 1 in 20 men will experience sexual assault in their lifetime. And whereas community partners include the City of Sherman, local law enforcement, area hospitals and organizations, the Crisis Center, and the City of Sherman recognize the dedication of these organizations to end sexual assault in Grayson County. Now, therefore, I, Sean Tiemann, representing David Plyler, Mayor of the City of Sherman, Texas, by the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2018 Sexual Assault Awareness Month in the City of Sherman and encourage all citizens to increase their awareness and work to prevent sexual assault in our community and to unite together and with the Grayson Crisis Center to continue to make a difference. In witness whereof, do I read that part? Keep on going?
Don't have to.
I have
Doing
hereunto set my hand and cause seal of the City of Sherman to be affixed this second day of April 2018. Thank you very much. If you'd like to say a few words.
Yes, we actually have the first gala coming this Thursday. We still have about 30 tickets that are available. They are $75 each. That specific amount goes back to survivors. When we deal with survivors with the acute exam after they've been sexually assaulted, something so simple as giving them a meal or being able to pay for a taxi going back home is really important for them. Just as simple as, I know that the hospital has food and I understand that that's available, but one of the things that we can offer for the survivors is order a pizza from Domino's. We have some children that are between 13 and 17 that they don't want anything from the hospital, or we have some parents that don't have transportation that we're able to pay for an Uber for them to go back home. By being able to create more awareness, so if anybody's interested, just go to the Grayson Crisis Center and buy a ticket, and it's going to be, all that money is going to go back to those survivors. So thank you so much for the acknowledgement. Thank you for your time as well.
Okay, next we have National Library Week. Melissa, will you come forward? Okay. Whereas libraries have historically served as our nation's great equalizers of knowledge by providing free access to all, and whereas libraries work to meet the changing needs of their users, including building downloadable collections, involving teens in collection development and programming, and giving young people a chance to improve reading skills, and whereas our nation's libraries provide a forum for diverse ideas and points of view that help us better understand each other and ourselves, and whereas librarians help people of all ages and backgrounds find and interpret the information they need to live, learn, and work in a challenging economy, and whereas during April, Sherman's youngsters will enjoy story times, young readers, preteen reads, and the Sherman Public Library Advisory Teens Meeting, and the Friends of the Sherman Public Library will host a book review luncheon and will invite the public to shop at their spring book sale on April 21st, 2018. And whereas libraries are part of the American dream, places for education, opportunity, and lifelong learning, and whereas libraries, librarians, library workers, and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Week. Now therefore, I, David Plyler, Mayor of the City of Sherman, Texas, by the authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim April 8th through 14th, 2018, National Library Week in the City of Sherman, and urge all residents to visit the Sherman Public Library to take advantage of the wonderful library resources available. You belong at your library. I also encourage residents to thank their librarians and library workers for making information accessible to all who walk through the library's doors. All right, Melissa, I'm going to present you with this proclamation. If you'd like to say a few words.
Well, April 8th through 14th is National Library Week, and it was first sponsored in 1958 by American Library Association, and it's celebrated every April. It's just a reminder of all of the services that the library has to offer to the community. We are still in our temporary building, so we are at 1000 Northeast Street. We're offering story times for children. We have a Baby and Me on Mondays. Tuesday and Wednesday mornings, we have toddler story time. We're doing the book review luncheon on Wednesday, April 4th at the museum, at the Sherman Museum. There's no cost for any of these programs. We have the Friends of the Library book sale at the end of the month, as he mentioned, and the funds raised go to pay for all the programs that we offer. So, thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay, at this time we'll enter public hearing. If you'll read C1 for us.
Proposed agreement with Westmore Solar LLC, Westmore Solar 2 LLC, for the abatement of ad valorem property taxes for improvements within Industrial Reinvestment Zone number 032018-01, City of Sherman, Texas.
Thank you, Linda. Mary?
Yes, this is the public hearing for the proposed agreement with Westmore Solar. The first step towards this agreement was on March 19th when the zone was created. This agreement gives Westmore Solar a tax abatement of 50% per year for 5 years in accordance with our matrix. The estimated value of $10 million will yield about $238,000 in tax, with about $119,000 of benefit to the taxpayer over the term of the agreement, assuming a level investment, tax rate, and value.
Okay. Thank you, Mary. Is there anyone here to address this item this evening? Okay. If not, we will close public hearing and consider the consent agenda. These items are considered to be routine and will be enacted in one motion without discussion unless a council member or a citizen requests a specific item be discussed and voted on separately. The consent agenda includes items D3 and E4. Would anybody like these considered separately? If not, can we get a motion on consent?
Make a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Mayor, who was the second, please? Thank you.
All right, we are down to item D1. Linda, if you'll read that for us.
Resolution 6358, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of an agreement with Westmore Solar LLC, Westmore Solar 2 LLC, for the abatement of ad valorem property taxes for improvements within Industrial Reinvestment Zone number 032018-01, City of Sherman, Texas. Finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Okay. Thank you, Linda. Mary?
Right, this is the agreement we just talked about, and I see Aaron Wilson is here to answer any questions you might have
Okay.
about the project.
Council, any questions on this resolution?
Mary, tell me those numbers again.
The benefit, the total taxes is $238,000. It's about $119,000 each to the taxpayer and to the city
That's over the 5-year.
over the 5 year.
What are we currently getting on taxes on that tract of property? Do we have an approximate?
Well, there's ag exemption on it right now, so it's pretty close to zero.
Okay.
Right.
So they have, go ahead.
No, that was fine. I was just, I know it's a large number for an abatement, but it's a tract of land that would be difficult to develop for other,
Right, there's some utilities going across it.
correct,
and
but there's some utility easements, some other issues, some different things, so we're basically
Getting something on the tax roll,
perfect.
right.
So I should know this, but in that 5 years, it stays in operation, obviously, over those 5 years, and then it has a certain threshold as far as, I guess those don't devalue, they continue to, and maybe that's a question for,
I think Aaron might want to come up and talk about the value.
Yeah, so the depreciation schedule for these projects are set by the state. They have a 10-year useful life. At the end of the year 10, they floor at 20% of their original value. They hold that value into perpetuity. I think, did that answer your question?
it did, yes. So the value will be assessed on an annual basis, and then the abatement will be.
Right.
Okay, very good.
And that abatement's just on the improvements to the land. Currently, the land, like Mary said, is an ag, and so we're going to take that out and purchase it for its full commercial value, and so that'll go on the tax rolls as well. So it's a very exciting project, and excited about the revenue going to the school district and the college and the city here. So,
We're excited about the revenue too.
well, I'm a taxpayer here, so I'm excited about it myself. So.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or?
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion we approve.
Okay. Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you. All right. D2. Linda, if you'll read that for us.
Resolution 6359, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sherman authorizing execution of an integrated supply agreement with AME 168 Incorporated, doing business as Napa Auto Parts. Finding that the meeting at which this resolution is passed was noticed and is open to the public as required by law.
Thank you. Mary?
This is a renewal of an agreement we've had for the past 3 years for Napa to provide employees and inventory management systems for the service center. The services they provide increase the efficiency at the service center by having parts available either at the Napa store that's housed in the service center or at a Napa store. And we'll be evaluating this program in the next year.
Okay, thank you. Council, any questions?
Does that project seem to be going pretty good right now?
We'll be evaluating that. We have seen some efficiency, just we don't have to have an employee to be a parts runner. Napa will send their employee from the service center out to solid waste to take a part out there to work on a solid waste truck. They'll go to a store in town, so we've seen some efficiency from that.
But when we first pitched this project we're in I guess we've about finished our 3rd year and are going in our 4th year. So when we initially pitched this project, we said we'd be evaluating it and making sure that it's still kind of performing, in reality like we thought it would in paper. So we feel like as we do the budget for 2019, as we're gearing up for that we'll evaluate the program, and if it's working and still making sense for us, we'll continue the program, and if it's not, then we won't.
All right. Thank you.
Very good.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve 6359.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, at this time, I'm going to invite John Seald to the podium. We'll receive the quarterly progress report from Sherman Economic Development Corporation. Board Chairman John Seald. John, if you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
John Sild, 1502 Lakewood Drive, Sherman, Texas. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to come before you guys and tell you SEDCO has been working very hard this last quarter. We've been burning the late night oil, and we've accomplished quite a bit. And so I'm very, very proud of our team. I'm proud of what we've accomplished and what we're continuing to accomplish. Just a couple of things. I know you guys have a packet from us, but a couple of things I want to just draw your attention to. We have performed the performance agreement with Finisar Corporation and Presco Polymers. Total of these two projects, capital investment is $160,950,000 with incentives of $1,047,500. We've also completed performance agreements with Eaton Beeline and Sellerman's. These projects total capital investment of $1,026,126,000 with incentives of $56,517. We also provided Sellerman's payment of $12,842 with the Buy Local grant, so that was an incentive there. One thing that we're really excited about that's up and coming is we have been invited by the Dallas Business Journal to a banquet, and that's coming up very shortly now, a couple of weeks. We are Sherman, the Finisar Apple Sherman project made the list of finalists for the best real estate deal in 2017. This project was selected as one of 3 finalists in the rehab or reuse category, and we're also one of 52 vying for the Deal of the Year award. So there'll be a number of us going to Dallas and attending that banquet and hopefully bringing home some hardware. And so, but really it's a great opportunity for us to mix and mingle and be acknowledged by the North Texas area that we've made some great strides in bringing a new corporate partner to Sherman to Grayson County. So we're excited about that. As you all know, the human resource marketing campaign we launched back in January, that's going well. I've had a number of people reach out to me and say, hey, how can I get on that list? Because I want to have people contact me about some job openings. And so we are seeing quite a bit of flow through on that. We're in social media, radio, print, and billboard advertisements, and we're directing them to our job database, ShermanTexasJobs.com. So that's in play too. On May 5th, SEDCO will host an industry appreciation picnic from 2 to 5 at the Pecan Grove West Park Amphitheater. And this is where we will basically, Sherman Industries and their families have been invited to enjoy an afternoon of fun activities and snacks. And this is brought to them by SEDCO. It's just an appreciation time, thanking them for being a part of our community and being a business partner. We're currently working on 8 active projects with an estimated $325 million in investments and 1,220 jobs. So that's in the pipeline currently. Some good news. Stacy Jones has earned her Certified Economic Developer certificate, so she is now credentialed in that area. So that's a great add. We're excited for that. And then the last item I really have for you guys is we have a top-notch team looking for our next president that we've assembled. And so this team has already met. They've already started to review resumes, and we're getting resumes pretty often now. They're reaching out to all of us. And so we're funneling those resumes to this committee. The committee is Brad Douglas. He's chairing that committee for us. Then we have Janie Bates, Luis from Eaton, Terrence, one of our good friends from the city, Terrence Steele, Eddie Young is a part of that. And then Willie, of course, has volunteered to help us from the council side. And then Steve Jones has volunteered from Bank of Texas. Steve has been a past chairman of SEDCO and also a big business person. So he knows the drill. So we're excited about that. Any questions? I just hit the highlights. There's quite a bit more going on. I mean, we are just continuing to work the streets and bring in some business. So any questions?
I have a question. That is, I know that with your HR campaign, as far as reaching out, maybe that's not even the right, trying to get people to come in, because we have so many jobs available
Correct.
in this area. I know we were going to reach out to the Northeast, where there's a higher unemployment rate. Are we hearing anything back from that?
Yes.
Are we getting contacted by people that might want to move to this area or showing an
Yes.
interest?
We actually, Brad Douglas is one of the first ones. They hired somebody up from the north area, and he is now an employee of Douglas Distributing.
Okay,
And
good.
so we are seeing some flow through on that.
All right, great.
Other questions? All right.
All right,
Thank
you,
y'all.
John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Good job. That's good work.
All right. This time, I'm going to invite former Mayor Kerry Wacker to the podium. We're going to receive a presentation regarding proposed boundary changes for the Arts and Cultural Overlay District and related grant opportunities. Kerry, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and council members. It's good to be back. I almost miss it. So, no, seriously. I am excited to be here to give you an update on the process for the State Cultural District application that we've been talking about for a little while now, but with the groundwork that was done last January by students in an Austin College Jan term class, that combined with a history over the last several years of the Sherman community consistently identifying and articulating that downtown Sherman is really important to community life and cultural life here. Those have really driven this project to move forward and hopefully become an official state cultural district. So the application process got underway officially in January with our letter of intent. that the city sent in, and since that time, there have been a series of meetings, and I also have a student who's working on gathering some of the data that's needed for this application. So what I brought before you tonight was this update with some of the milestones to meet, as well as a map of the proposed expanded cultural district. Some of you may know that we have a designated arts district right now, which is really just the area just west of here. It's the grounds and the buildings of Kid Key, as well as Honey McGee Playhouse and Finley Cultural Center. So that has been in Sherman's heritage, but as we look to the future and think about what this needs to look like to continue to be inclusive, to expand, and to be exciting and excited and innovative and creative in how we draw people into the cultural life of Sherman, it appears that the best option for us is to expand the cultural district to overlay the same boundaries as the Main Street District, which is the central business district also, and so include all the cultural places and icons that I think most people think about when they think of civic life or cultural life. So I'm glad you were celebrating Library Week, because of course the Sherman Public Library will be a really important landmark, as well as some of our historical assets and all the performing arts spaces that we have, and the places where we host many of the festivals and even the downtown Christmas parade. So people really think of downtown as a hub for this kind of activity already. So this effort will help us really bring together the effort under a kind of a single brand, how we market Sherman, how we engage people who live here, as well as bring people into the area to celebrate with us what we offer, because we have a lot that's really authentic. So I'm not going to go through point by point, because you all have in front of you this the key tasks, the proposed timeline. We're kind of clicking down those. We're obviously now to Monday, April 2nd, the first formal presentation we've had in a while, with the hope that perhaps at the next council meeting, or even the one after that, if we can get the boundaries formalized, that the ordinance expanding the district could be adopted, and we can keep going, because also have some town hall meetings planned to kind of get the last bit of community input. I mentioned that Sherman citizens have been identifying downtown and its importance for some time. My involvement really goes back formally to, well, all the way back to Main Street back when, but in 2009, the comprehensive plan process, where there's an entire chapter devoted to cultural life in Sherman. Then in 2015, when we did some visioning exercises in Sherman and came up with a number of bullet points that identified important assets in downtown around arts and culture. The survey that was done by the city that same summer, and then again in 2017, as I mentioned, the Jan term class, and now concluding in 2018 with a last series of meetings that will allow the public to kind of come back and give a stamp of approval on a vision and some concepts and the real priorities for downtown, so that this is truly a community-driven process. And I think we have a great story to tell. So we'll be hosting meetings here in the City Council chambers on Thursday, April 12th and Friday, April 13th. Some activities around with Jazz Festival that weekend, a final town hall meeting, I hope. I probably should have put tentative on this, but Tuesday, May 1st, with just a kind of a final presentation that's a summary of what we got in the April town hall meetings. We'll need to put together a video, and I've been already working with some of the arts groups to get footage from some of the performances and activities that they have, so we'll have this 5-minute video that can be presented in June here to the council. We will do then some final review and editing of the documents that go in this, and hopefully bundle this thing up in a FedEx package on Tuesday, June the 12th, so that it might get there a day or two early, because that would be really great. So I am just bringing this to you. Again, you have your map. I did want to show you something fun. We're showing and making the connection. The blue line is the connection to Austin College, and the yellow line is the both of these are bicycle trails. So what's really nice is some of the efforts you all are making right now in terms of connecting our community, bringing people into the center of town or out to places where they live or possibly work. This all works together, I think, to, again, build that civic life and that sense of community around the hub of downtown. And then this, I just put the flyer, which is, if y'all are, it's really a go. I've already been talking about this because we talked about this at the Downtown Sherman Now meeting. The website at the bottom actually is, at this moment, non-existent, shermanarts.org. It's not really non-existent, it's just not live. It's something that's in progress that Austin College is building. But hopefully we'll have some information up and maybe some Facebook events to really promote this. So that's what I have for you all, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Oh, let me just add, in terms of potential grants, having this formal designation doesn't come initially with funding. It comes with a lot of promotion, though, from the state of Texas. And if you all saw on the back of your sheet, why should we pursue this and what are some of the economic drivers around this, cultural tourism is a huge driver in Texas. And one really nice thing, I think this was mentioned when we made some presentations before, is that when the state of Texas, when the Texas Commission on the Arts, if they add us to the list, there will be a significant amount of marketing that could potentially push these numbers up even higher. We'll be tracking that. But the total earnings just for Sherman, direct earnings from travel employment, is about $15 million already. So that's no small amount, and we anticipate that that would grow even more with the cultural district designation. So the initial thing will be just the marketing and the helping power our economy, that sector of the economy. But there are grant opportunities as we get into the program that we will be looking into, not only with the state of Texas, but also with some federal organizations like the National Endowment for the Arts, and possibly even some private foundations. So that's what I have for you all. Happy to answer questions.
Thank you.
Any questions, council?
That's great. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Appreciate all
Thanks,
the work.
Now, Carrie, when we talk about town hall meetings, what can the citizens expect to find when they come in?
So we will have a number of boards set up in this room with some aspirational projects, pictures from other downtowns of the types of either activity or public art or wayfinding signage that people can look at and evaluate and put stickers on. And then also there will be a list based on the past input of what people seemed most to value in Sherman, and help prioritize that by, again, sort of doing a count by dots process. So there will be an opportunity to talk to staff people, to artists, about what people are seeing there, and kind of let people see the current vision and shape what's going to go into the final planning document that will be sent to Austin. So.
Okay, and that's Thursday, April 12th, 6 to 8, and Friday, April 13th, from 12 to 1:30.
That's correct.
All right, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Oh, and you're all invited.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you. Okay. This time we'll receive an update from Community and Support Services Manager Nate Strouch regarding ongoing projects in the city. Nate?
Mr. Mayor, councilors, thank you for having me here today. This is our, I don't know how often we're doing these now, but this has been 6 months now, believe it or not, since our last drone update. So a lot of these projects have come a long way in 6 months. A few of them weren't even started 6 months ago. So we did want to circle back with our Sherman One, our lovable drone, and provide you guys with an update. As always, I'm not the expert on any of these projects, but I hopefully know just enough to get myself in trouble. So, and Robbie has the ability, hopefully, to pause it if we need to at any point during the video.
And the pause is the space bar?
Yes.
Just show me what. Okay.
Jenny, if you want to kick it off. So this, I put tags on all of them this time
I
because
was just testing it.
Okay, it worked.
Okay.
I realized that last time we did this, it was a little bit jarring to figure out where exactly you were and which direction you were going. So each of these should have a little title card now that should give you a little bit of information. This is the TxDOT project, about $2.6 million project to add a center turn lane on Highway 11 between highways, or on, excuse me, Highway 1417 between Highway 11 and Highway 75. We kick it in overdrive here because all you're really seeing is stinky scrapyard. But this is a great project. It's a safety project, as you know. Shadow Mountain is right here on your right, and there have been a number of fatal accidents there as people trying to turn in. And then we're going to slow it back down. The two lots on the left are actually, this is immediately behind the Shulman development. That's something that we've got a couple developers looking at as a mixed-use type of development right now. There's about 200 acres there. So they would be looking at coming in with single-family, multifamily, as well as a commercial component, really building on the success that we are hopefully beginning at the at Legacy Village there. The work at Legacy Village is stopped for now. Where the fire department is right there, that's approximately the same footprint of the Lone Star Food Store that'll sit right there on the corner. And of course, Shulman's be back behind that, and then further to the south, some other retail. And then as we move across the highway, we don't spend a lot of time on this because it's just kind of a giant mud strip right now, but they have defined Sherman Crossroads Boulevard right there, appropriately named backbone of the Sherman Crossroads development. And then as we pan over, that'll be where Travis, of course, will swing across the highway. This is Northgate Drive. They have gotten half of it successfully paved so far. Clint tells me that if the weather is decent in the next couple days, they should have the second half hopefully paved by the end of this week. We're going to fly all the way to the end here to the point where it'll actually meet up with Travis Street. And it gives you a pretty good view of the line of that road in both directions. So this is looking north. There's the golf course on the right, and then we're turning back to the west, and that gives you a really clear view of where the street will go. That line of trees, kind of in the distance there, is Moore Road, and then the green field, of course, will be where the high school is. There again, there's the golf course, and there's the development at Crossroads that's already going on. And then we'll drop back down. This, of course, you all remember from a couple months ago, we had our groundbreaking out there. The main thing that's been accomplished since that time has just been a ton of dirt work. They have laid out the general corners there of the building, as you can see with the red dirt. And then we're going to fly over directly right where our hill was that we had our groundbreaking ceremony on. It's not a hill anymore. As you can see, the outhouses are still there. The hill is gone. It's all flat now. And that's that project. All right, so this is Moore Road, golf course on your right side. That's the Encore substation as it exists right there in front of us. This kind of oddly shaped white thing is going to be the new portion of the substation. That will handle the power from the solar farm. And then the lake that you're seeing there in the background, that's Herman Baker Park. And this I thought was really interesting. There's a hill that runs about right through the middle of this property, so you can only see less than half of this from the road. And even from the road, it's pretty impressive as to how much progress they've made in a very short couple of weeks. So you can see that area juts off to the north there, and then the second area, which goes toward the park, is jutting off toward the west. And those piles you see there, that's all mulch from the trees that they've ground up on site. But 112 acres that has come into view really quickly. This is Pebblebrook. This is Pebblebrook Phase 2. There's about a dozen homes, 15 homes under construction there right now. So we are flying basically from where the high school is at to the north. I'm going to do a jump cut here because we all know what Pebblebrook looks like, and we want to get to the exciting stuff on the north end. But if you just continue that route, what we come upon is this empty field right here. That will be the new Brookhaven edition, something like that. So 80 homes right there. We're looking at another couple homes here, and then the large area of overturned dirt there on the right-hand side of the screen. That will be the apartment building. That'll be the multifamily. And then this empty cornfield here across the street, that was the site of that contentious zoning issue a couple months ago. We did rezone that to multifamily. There hasn't been any further action on that project just yet. So the first multifamily development to go in there will be that one on the east side of FM 1417 where they're already turning dirt. The street here that's running at the bottom left-hand corner of the street, that's Swan Ridge Road, so that's TCS at the top of the screen. Swan Ridge is, of course, a project we've been talking about for a couple of years now, and I understand they're kind of waiting on the developer to before they break ground on that. And then this is Country Ridge on the left there, and this is Quail Run Road, yeah, right there. And then everything you see to the right and off to Friendship Road is where they've platted 330 additional homes there. So all in all, about 650 home sites you're seeing in just a span of about 10 minutes there. And then that was Setting Suns, where we have the drainage project going on. That's Target. We're flying over the top of Target right now. This is Magnolia Village, 45 homes there. As you can see, they already got the concrete down, and we wanted to highlight what the detention pond on the left here that's coming up. This is a project that we used the stormwater fee on to fund half of this detention pond, essentially to make it twice as big as it needed to be, so that it's not only catching the runoff from that development, but from several of the developments around it. So that's something where the utility department took a smaller project and made it into a larger project with that stormwater fee. And then this is something you also can't see at all from Travis Street. So this is Austin Landing, phase 1 that we're flying over right now. Phase 2 is kind of straight ahead of us. That's wrapping up. But then what you can't see from Travis is phase 3, which they've actually got all the roads poured on already, about 90 homes there. And as you can see, they're ready to start rocking and rolling on that one as well. This is the Hilton that we're flying over right now toward the Sherman Landing development. We've got Quick Trip on the left, the light-colored box there, and Legend Bank on the right. Those trucks you see on the Legend Bank lot, those are our trucks. We're currently putting in sewage and utilities for that project. Quick Trip's utilities are already done. They're moving right along. Should be done here, I think, probably by the end of the year. And then as we move across the highway to the other side, there has not been a ton more done on this in the last 6 months. What you can't see here, though, is the top edge of that property there where the dirt stops is one of the most massive retaining walls you will ever see that buttresses that property against the floodplain. So that's kind of what they've accomplished there. Here we are taking off from a pre-oxidation basin that is empty at the water treatment plant. And we are flying over the second pre-oxidation basin that is also empty. This is the new one. The other one was the old one. That's the kind of the first step. It will be that new pre-oxidation basin when the water comes in from the lake. It'll then be pumped down this hill to our new building here. And I kind of fly over it, and then we get a good look at it from up above. But they've built all the walls since the last time we looked at it. They've built this various accoutrement inside. The clear well, which is that gray thing that is now on the right side of the screen, that's where they keep the water right before they push it out to the city. There's been a lot of work done in there, kind of literally underground, to get that ready to go. And there's the state of the building, as you can see. The plant is still shut down. They think it'll be shut down for about another 3 weeks or so. Before and I wanted to give you a look at the flocculation basin here, since you're probably never going to see it empty again. And then we'll fly over here at the last shot. This will be a cool shot. They had the North Texas Water District pipe. So this is the big 72-inch pipe that goes all the way down to the south there that they have uncovered, that they're tying into to have essentially a second feed of water into the plant. So that will conclude this April update, and I or someone else can answer any questions you guys have.
We'll likely have another update, probably at the budget workshop, of these projects and some other projects that have started as well. So just really for your information more than anything.
Thank you.
For the record, that was flocculation basin?
Flocculation and sedimentation, yes, sir.
Okay.
Would you like me to spell that?
And were those, what was the word you used?
Accoutrement.
Accoutrement.
It's French.
Ooh.
Much like flocculation, probably not.
Stuff. Innards? Is that the innards?
Innards.
Okay. Very good. Good report.
Yes, good. Thank you, Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks, Nate.
All right, we are down to citizens' request. Is there anyone here to address the council this evening? No? Okay, media questions? Billy? We've got an appointment tonight to consider qualifications to boards and commissions to the library board.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like based upon the staff's recommendation, that we reappoint Randy Hudson, who is a current member of the library board, and there are no other applications on file at this time.
Okay, we have a motion.
Make a motion?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, yeah, so we are down to council comments. Councilman Holland, I'll start with you this evening.
Don't have anything. Lots of work, great work with Setco. Way to go, way to go.
No comment.
Just want to reiterate a few things when we talk about, we had 2 or 3 items on tonight's agenda about tax abatements and those kind of things, and a lot of folks look at that as us foregoing collecting taxes on things, but I want to just talk about a few of the programs we have. The one that I mention all the time is what we have in the reinvestment zones for the residential construction, which was on the consent agenda. Once again, it's another house we've got. We're putting a house on a vacant lot. It's a program that we've probably have to be close to $2.5 million worth of construction since we started the program.
Oh, on the tax abatements?
On the residential.
Residential,
those
no, we're
ad
about
valorem
22 million.
22, I meant 20, but 22 million.
Yeah,
So $22 million worth of houses in those reinvestment zones in that part of town is massive. And then bring the solar facility into an area that was basically an ag exempt property, and then up to what Sedco is working on with companies like Finisar and some of the others, and sitting in on that board, watching how we've accomplished the rate of return on investment, which is typically, Frank, what's industry standard on what we try to get the return on investment?
It runs from 5% to 50%.
But how many years out typically is?
Some in less than a half of a year, up to maybe a maximum of 5 to 6.
But it tends to be where they shoot from that 3 to 5 year period a lot of times. And I've noticed a lot of our larger things have been in the 1.5 year return on investment. So we've just, from a Sedco to city level to other things, we've done a really good job on recapturing those funds. So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, thank you.
I have a couple things I want to mention this evening. First off, I want to express my appreciation to the Elks Lodge for hosting the Grayson County Annual Recognition Dinner for law enforcement and first responders that we were invited to attend. It's really nice to go and see that the first responders are given a pat on the back, and they are recognized for what they do for stepping up, whether it be from the Sheriff's Department, the Police Department, the Fire Department, and the DPS, right? Isn't that the fourth one? Okay, all 4 were recognized that night, and we appreciate that. And then the following night, we had the annual Firemen's Dinner that was held at the Hilton, and we again appreciate that. It's great to see all the young firemen and their wives and girlfriends there and everything. It's a really fun night. The thing that makes the biggest impression on probably most of us is they have a film on the fires that they have fought that year. And it always kind of, shakes you up to realize how many fires we have had locally, and that they are actually putting their lives on the line. You know they are, but at the same time to actually see it on a film. And after seeing that, I contacted the fire department, and they came out and checked my house to make sure that I was safe and gave me a review. I appreciate that. I contacted them and I said, I don't know if I'm prepared, and I've got fire extinguishers and don't know, and they've suggested I get new ones, that they aren't supposed to be 30 years old and you still expect them to work. So I appreciate the fire department for that. You know, for supposedly, well, if we have a fire at our house, you'll hear about it in Dallas, because I've got enough smoke detectors that I put up around the house between them that everybody in town will know. And lastly, because we are talking so much about employment, I was able to attend Austin College's President Breakfast, the beginning of a week of activities when President O'Day was being sworn in. And they had a table, they had, a roundtable type discussion where they were discussing what are the local colleges and high school and doing to help get employment, help provide the employees that we need. So no matter what it is, even if it's a breakfast welcoming a new president of the university, one of the key things is workers. How do we get them? And there were a number of good comments that were made by not only the school district, but Grayson County College and Austin College, and Janie Bates was there, and and the new, is he the CEO of Finisar? I'm sorry, I don't know what his title. Vice President. Thank you very much, who's new to Sherman. Thank you very much. Got anything else?
There's
Did I take it? I'm sorry.
no comments.
After Pam, I won't make it. Go ahead. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, by the way, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Due to the extreme sleep deprivation I'm currently undergoing, I will make up for the quality of my remarks with quantity, so strap in. Just kidding. Thank you to SEDCO. We have a lot of job openings coming, and as Nate showed us, we have a lot of new housing being built. And I think with those two things, we can expect to see a lot of new faces here in Sherman. And I think it's the mission and goal of this council to address the issues that's going to come with all those new faces. I'd also like to say thank you to the folks of Sherman. The outpouring of support and congratulations my wife and I have received has just really been amazing. It makes me feel like we made a very smart choice when we decided to make Sherman our home. And I appreciate it, and that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Josh. All right, just a few announcements tonight. You're not going to want to miss Coffee with the Mayor this Friday, April 6th, because our great tourism manager, Sarah McRae, who's with us tonight, will be giving those in attendance a sneak peek at our Hot Summer Nights lineup before we release the list to the general public. So make plans to join us at Kelly Square to hear about our most exciting lineup yet. Sherman Parks and Rec will host their annual Touch a Truck event at Pecan Grove Park on Saturday, April 7th. This is a great kid-friendly event, and new for this year, our Keep Sherman Beautiful Committee will be giving people the chance to pick up litter and crush it in the trash truck right here on site. So 2 great events at 10 a.m. that day. And be sure and attend the Craft the Night Away also on Saturday, April 7th from 11 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Sherman Downtown Now has another great event in store this year with more than 30 breweries expected to attend. Wow. All right, at this time, we'll dismiss into executive session in accordance with Chapter 551 Government Code VTCS Open Meetings Law. The City Council will now hold a closed executive meeting pursuant to the provisions of the Open Meetings Law, Chapter 551 Government Code, Vernon's Texas Codes annotated in accordance with the authority contained in the following sections. Section 551.071, consultation with city attorney concerning pending or contemplated litigation. Section 551.071, consult with city attorney on a matter in which the duty of the attorney to the government body under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter. And Section 551.087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations, to deliberate regarding commercial or financial information that the city has received from a business prospect and deliberate any offers or incentives to the business prospect. And it's 5:54. We'll dismiss into executive session. Thank you.